In 2026, the US had over 20 do not travel warnings active, yet millions of Americans still flew anyway. You trust cheap flights, your friends trust Instagram, but your own government tells a different story. What do levels 1 to 4 secretly decide about your risk, money, and way home? Let's find out why that still matters in ways you never imagined before. Level 1 looks calm, but would you still use STEP just in case the State Department gives Level 1 and Level 2 travel pages a full review at least every 12 months? And if things go south, they update them on the fly. That green safe label, it's not locked in stone. It's just the current reading. Ever woken up to big news that changed everything overnight? That's how fast a travel advisory can turn. Trusting your whole trip to a color on a website is like assuming your favorite bar is always safe just because it was last Saturday. USA.gov says Level 1 means exercise normal caution, but that doesn't mean ignore risk. Safe in Japan isn't the same as safe in Mexico City, and normal problems can still ruin your day. Most travelers see green, zone out, and assume everything will go smoothly. But what if you lose your phone? Your bank app won't work. Suddenly you're trying to solve it all in a place where the cops, laws, or even the language feel completely alien. Would you have a clue where to even begin, or would you just freeze up? Normal risk is local risk. The rules, the police, even the hospital might be totally different. If you switch your brain off when you see green, small problems become big ones, fast. And it's not all hypothetical. In June 2025, the US dropped a rare global warning after Iran strikes, telling Americans everywhere to exercise increased caution. You could be in a Level 1 country on the website, but on the ground, things just shifted. Would you know, or would you find out the hard way? That's why the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, or STEP, is such a game changer. It's free, simple, and connects you to real-time alerts from embassies, based on exactly where you are. The website label might stay green, but if trouble pops up, STEP lets you know the same day. Imagine waking up to an official email warning about a protest near your hotel instead of hearing about it secondhand when you're already out. Bottom line, treat Level 1 as your baseline, not a no worries sign. Keep your street smarts, get on STEP, check local news, and those 10 minutes could keep you off a street you'll regret. Because as soon as that green label turns yellow, you'll wish you hadn't just gone on autopilot. Level 2 says, be extra careful, so where do you sleep and walk now? Did you know in July 2025, over 11.76 million Americans traveled internationally? That's more than any month since before the pandemic. So when people talk about Level 2 advisories, they're not talking about dangerous, far-off places. They mean everywhere from Paris and London to the Bahamas and Morocco. Your dream trip is probably sitting at Level 2. And that's not because it's scary, it's because there's a real, trackable risk. The State Department says Level 2 means exercise increased caution. And those little tags, crime, unrest, terrorism, health, are the fine print you can't skip. The number says, stay sharp. The tag says, here's why. Most people pack the same way, no matter the tag. But if the warning is about street crime, you'd want a money belt and to skip deserted neighborhoods. Is it healthy? Maybe you need vaccines or should avoid certain foods. One-size-fits-all packing is why people get burned. There's also the crowd problem. By September 2025, another 8.54 million Americans traveled abroad. So airports, train stations, and tourist spots are packed. It only takes one shout in a crowd, one pickpocket, or one group pushing the wrong way to cause chaos. A little problem becomes a big one fast when there are thousands of people packed into one space. The trick with Level 2, it's not danger for the whole country. Take Mexico. The whole country's Level 2, but some states inside it are Level 4. Do not go. One moment you're at a beautiful beach, stray too far, and suddenly you're in a place you shouldn't be. If you just look at the main number, you miss the map inside the map. How do you play it safe? Get picky, really picky. Book hotels in areas that locals say are good. Don't just trust a cheap deal on a quiet street with bad reviews. Stick close to main roads, travel during the day, and watch those tags. If crime or unrest is mentioned, take it seriously. One wrong corner after dark could cost you your phone or worse. Don't treat Level 2 as fine for everyone. It means pay attention, ask locals, and adjust your plans. Your Instagram followers don't have to know you switched hotels. You just have to know you stayed safe. Level 3 warns, reconsider. How do you plan a second way out? By spring 2025, the US had flagged 21 countries as Level 4, and 8 of those happened that year alone. When you see a country with a Level 3 advisory, that's not just a yellow light, it's a warning to rethink your whole plan. Level 3 means the risks are serious and things can change fast. It's not just about being careful, it's about having an escape plan. The official line for Level 3 is reconsider travel, and it comes with the blunt warning, avoid travel due to serious risks to safety and security. That's the point where you stop thinking only about fun. You need to think, what's my way out if something goes wrong? Look at Colombia, Egypt, Guatemala, or Jamaica. Level 3 doesn't mean every inch of the country is dangerous. Sometimes, a fancy resort or a cruise stop feels totally safe. But take the wrong highway, and you're suddenly somewhere the embassy warns Americans not to go. Most travelers only check the main city and never look at the regions. But the devil is in those details. What's really risky? Level 3 can sit for months or flip to Level 4 in a day. Maybe you're watching TV in your hotel and see the news. Airspace closed, protests broke out, all flights canceled. Your return ticket looks normal in your email, but the airport screens are red and your options are shrinking by the minute. The smart move? Always have a backup plan that's real, not just wishful thinking. Buy refundable tickets or ones you can change with a reasonable fee. If there's a land border nearby, know what you'd need to cross it. Never count on just one way out. And always have a stash of emergency cash. If panic hits, ATMs can run dry. And just one extra night can turn into a week if you're stuck. Don't go dark. Share your full plan, flights, hotels, passport scan, with someone you trust back home. Set check-in times, and if you go silent, they start making calls. If level 3 turns to level 4, you'll be glad someone can step in. Then comes level 4, where the question stops being comfortable and becomes getting out safely. Level 4 says, do not travel. What if you are already there? By early 2026, the US Level 4 list hit 22 destinations: Russia, Ukraine, North Korea, Iran, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Haiti, Sudan, Libya, and others. These aren't just never-go war zones. Sometimes work, family, or even adventure takes people there. But Level 4 is as clear as it gets. The US government says it's not safe, and help might not be possible. What if you're there when the level flips? Travel.state.gov isn't subtle. Do not travel. That might be because of violence, political collapse, or simply the US not being able to send embassy staff to help. If the embassy says it can't move safely, you're basically on your own. Would you rather know that before your trip, or when you're already in trouble? At Level 4, the warning isn't theoretical. Conditions can shift fast, even when things look normal. In 2025, Americans in Mali got told to leave immediately. Fuel was running out, schools shut, and the embassy said they couldn't help much longer. That was it. The countdown started, and you either got out or you got stuck. Level 4 mode isn't travel, it's survival. You keep a go bag packed, passport, cash, meds, one change of clothes, all at arm's reach. Choose hotels for security, backup power, and real exits, not for pretty views. Even if you score a flight, money can get blocked, ATMs empty, and your credit cards might not work. Don't expect your trip insurance to fix everything either. Sometimes, even medical help is limited if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you have to move, sometimes the only way out is by land. Think border crossings, buses, even walking if things get really bad. It's about options. If you're already at Level 4, don't wait for things to improve. Plan to leave as soon as you safely can. But even if you escape safely, will your insurance actually cover the mess left behind? If the level jumps tomorrow, does your trip insurance still help you? That's a number that might surprise you. Americans bought $26.5 billion in travel insurance in 2024, and by 2030, that's set to double. That's a lot of people betting on just in case. But are they betting smart? Not always. Cancel for any reason, CFAR. Policies are exploding. Some brokers saw sales jump 92% in a single year, with more than a quarter of customers paying extra just for the right to back out if they feel unsafe. Globally, sales of CFAR plans are up by a third. People want that flexibility when war, protests, or even tech meltdowns hit. But travel insurance is a contract, not a magic wand. If you buy insurance after a travel warning is posted, you might not be covered for cancellations related to that risk. Companies like Allianz are upfront. Once there's a warning, it's a known risk. You cancel for that reason, they can just say no. Same goes if you try to cancel after you've already seen the risk on the news. They'll claim you knew what you were getting into. The surprise for many, most plans still cover medical emergencies, even in level 3 or 4 countries. So if you break an ankle, you might get help. But if you want to leave because of unrest or fear, your claim could get denied. That split feels unfair, especially if you didn't read the details. CFAR plans exist so you can change your mind for any reason, not just if the airline cancels. By 2025, these policies were worth nearly $10 billion. They're not cheap, usually 4 to 10% of your trip cost, so a $3,000 vacation means $120 to $300 in premiums. Expensive, sure, but better than having your whole trip unravel without backup. And remember, free updates from STEP can sometimes save you before you even need your insurance. So instead of repeating it here, remember, STEP is your fastest early warning system. If the embassy can email you fast, why stay off STEP? STEP is a free U.S. State Department service that sends you email updates and alerts from U.S. embassies and consulates while you're abroad. It's not a headline feed. It's practical, location-relevant warnings like security, demonstration, health, and weather/natural disaster alerts tied to the destination you're visiting or living in. The real point? When things get messy, STEP helps the embassy or consulate reach you or your emergency contact in an emergency. That might mean instructions, updates, or where to look for official guidance when rumors are flying and plans are collapsing. But let's be blunt, you should not expect to be evacuated by the US government. STEP isn't a magic get-me-out button. It's a way to stay connected to the most reliable information channel you actually have. Privacy-wise, STEP is covered by the State Department's published Privacy Impact Assessment, which explains what data is collected and how it's handled. Net-net, advisories tell you the level. STEP helps you catch the moment it changes and what to do next before it hits your group chat. Because sometimes the real crisis isn't unrest or flights. It's losing your identity in a foreign country. If you lose your passport in a level 2 city, what saves you? Losing your passport overseas is the ultimate gut punch. The rule is simple. Report it to the State Department right away. Once you do, the old passport is canceled for good. Even if you find it later, you can't use it again. The faster you act, the less chance someone else can use it to really mess up your life. No valid passport, no getting home. That means a trip to the nearest US embassy or consulate, filling out paperwork, paying fees, and maybe waiting a couple days while you're already stressed out. Lose your phone too? Every step gets tougher. No contacts, no backup copies, no easy navigation. This is where being prepared makes all the difference. Take a photo of your passport and save it somewhere offline. Keep a hard copy tucked in your bag and write down your trip details in case your phone's gone. Carry a backup stash of emergency cash away from your main wallet. If you need a cab or last-minute hotel, you'll be glad you did. When you're in a level 2 city marked for crime, the risk doesn't stop after the passport's gone. Safe hotels in busy, well-patrolled areas make it easier to get to the embassy or police. If help's far away, you might be in for a long, expensive ride. More chances for scams, more opportunities to get stuck. Corrupt police or fake officers grabbing documents? That's a real warning in some places. Stick to central, busy stations, go during daylight, and ask hotel staff to help with reporting. It's all about controlling what you can. A lost passport is a mess, but staying alert, having a plan, and not panicking can keep a disaster from getting worse. Before you hit pay today, did you check level 1 to 4 for your final stat? In 2024, Americans broke the record for international trips, 107.7 million. That's nearly 10% higher than before the pandemic. More crowds, longer lines, and more opportunities for things to go wrong, especially if you don't check the basics. The travel advisory levels are simple. Level 1 is normal caution. Level 2 is extra caution. Level 3 is maybe don't go. And Level 4 means stay out. These aren't random colors. They're real, reviewed, and updated. Level 1 and 2, every year. Level 3 and 4, at least every 6 months or anytime there's a major change. Before you book, run a quick search on the travel advisory map. Then do the part most people skip. Read the tags and the regional breakdown, not just the headline level. Health risk, you might need shots or meds. Unrest, maybe avoid certain days or places. Terror risk, be extra clear about where you're staying and moving. Always make sure your insurance actually matches your real risk, not just what you hope for. Step alerts keep you up to date while you're on the move. Don't let a low price fool you. Ask yourself, am I buying a trip or just gambling on luck? If you've ever worried about missing a travel warning or just want to feel ready for anything, you're in the right spot. Tap the next video. Your next answer is just one click away.